Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we are completely transforming our relationship with failure. We're going to break down exactly how to stop fearing rejection and instead develop this vibrant, highly moldable mindset that actually turns adversity into your absolute greatest advantage. So, if you've ever felt held back by the fear of hearing the word no, well, you are in exactly the right place. Think about it for a second. Society, our upbringing, honestly, even our very own instincts, they all teach us to avoid failure at all costs. That's your old machine talking, that primal, comfort-seeking part of your brain that just wants to run away from the sting of rejection. Because, let's face it feels personal and it hurts. But today, we're tapping into the higher mind. Because what if extreme repeated failure isn't actually the opposite of success, but literally the currency required to buy it? Section 1. The Comfort Trap and the Story of Thomas. Now, what's really interesting about the number 37 is what it represents for a 15-year-old kid named Thomas. It's the summer of 1985, and Thomas is abruptly thrust out of his comfort zone. His dad gives him a super firm ultimatum: go earn your own spending money. Next thing he knows, he lands in this chaotic, ink-smelling newspaper office. His job? Dialing a chunky rotary phone to cold call local businesses and sell them ad space. 37. That is the sheer, brutal velocity of rapid-fire, soul-crushing no's Thomas collected by lunchtime on his very first day. Click after click, hang-up after hang-up. Sitting there just staring at his legal pad, Thomas was completely defeated. He was absolutely convinced he just wasn't cut out for this, and he was totally ready to pack up his desk and quit forever. Section 2. Rejection as your currency. Flipping the script. So, right as Tomas is emotionally wiped out and grabbing his stuff to walk away, a veteran salesman named Frank steps in. And Frank breaks down this absolute paradigm-shifting strategy for him, which we call the collector's secret. Looking down at the 37 rejections scribbled on Tomas's legal pad, Frank didn't offer pity. He simply said, "Good. Tomorrow I want 40. He gave Tomas a completely new framework. First, stop trying to collect yeses. Just stop. Second, become the absolute greatest collector of no's this office has ever seen. And third, reframe the word entirely. No doesn't mean failure anymore. You see, Tomas learned that he couldn't control who actually bought an ad. The single solitary variable he could control was the number of times he asked. Frank actually wrote this profound mathematical truth right on the back of Thomas's notepad. Every yes is hiding behind a pile of no's. By truly internalizing this, Thomas literally gamified his job. He completely stripped the fear of rejection right out of his workflow. It's crazy because while other grown adult salesmen would just quit for the day after 5 rejections out of sheer fear and frustration, Thomas was happily hammering the phones. He was smiling, collecting rejections like prizes, because he knew for a fact that every single one simply moved him one step closer to a yes. Section 3. The Accountability Mirror. Strip away excuses. Now, before you can dominate your field like Thomas did, you have to conquer the loudest voice in the room, the one inside your own head. This takes extreme ownership. Facing what we call the accountability mirror means you have got to strip away the lies. You have to drop that perfectly curated image you project to the world. It requires you to stop blaming your past, stop blaming your parents, the economy, or whatever your circumstances are for where you currently sit. You have to wake up and realize that you're on your own now. Nobody is coming to save you. You must brutally acknowledge your own flaws so you can actually get to work fixing them and sculpting your own reality. So the crucial point here is this. You literally cannot fix a problem until you brutally acknowledge it. That raw, sometimes really painful honesty, that's your foundation. You have to look dead into that mirror and realize that to change your life, you have to want success as much as you want to breathe. If you build your life on a comfortable web of lies about why you aren't succeeding, you are just giving away all your power to change it. Section 4. The Wild Dog Stamina. Let's talk about relentless endurance. Okay, so you acknowledge the truth and you get that quick, awesome burst of motivation. Great, but that's not enough because motivation fades. To truly succeed, you need endurance. We need to disrupt our expectations about what true dominance actually looks like in nature. When we think of the king of the jungle, we immediately picture the lion, right? An animal that relies entirely on raw power, explosive speed, and pure intimidation. But real, functional dominance, that looks like the African wild dog. The wild dog doesn't win by being the biggest, and it doesn't win by being the fastest. It wins through relentless endurance. It simply chases and outlasts its prey until the prey literally collapses from exhaustion. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. The reality of this comparison is just staggering. The mighty, terrifying lion, It has a hunting success rate of just 30%. But the African wild dog, an astonishing 83%. Think about that. Relentless, unyielding stamina heavily outpaces raw talent every single time. It is simply the ability to keep coming day after day, refusing to quit, that guarantees victory in the end. Section 5. Dominating in the dark. Unseen execution. So, where exactly is this wild dog stamina forged? I can tell you right now, it's not built under stadium lights, and it's not built when people are cheering your name. Like the quote says, you're celebrated in the light for what you do in the dark. True champions are forged in the quiet, grueling, totally lonely hours. They're made at 3 a.m. when they are bone-tired exhausted, when nobody is watching, and when they could so easily just hit the snooze button. It's all about demanding the exact same level of flawless execution, whether you're sweeping a warehouse floor all by yourself or closing a billion-dollar deal in public. Let's move on and see how this builds, because success is really just the accumulation of thousands of tiny, completely unseen sacrifices. It starts right there at 3 a.m., grinding alone in the dark. Over 6 months, those consistent, hidden choices really start to stack up. And who is that person you're actually building toward? You are chasing your hero 10 years into the future. After a decade of this unrelenting consistency, society finally turns around, notices you, and slops the label overnight success on you. They don't see the dark hours, they only see the lights. But the dark is where the outcome was actually decided. Section 6. Write your next chapter. Author your life. That 15-year-old kid, Thomas, he used this exact framework, collecting rejections, facing himself in the mirror, and grinding consistently to eventually go on and build his own highly successful companies. And now it's your turn. As Matthew McConaughey so profoundly puts it, turn the page. You are the author of the book of your life. Look, the past is heavy. If you drag your regrets into your future, they're going to crush you. The ironic tragedy here is that life is lived forward, but understood backward. You just have to let go of the old story, forgive yourself for the missteps, and actively, boldly author a brand new narrative. You don't need to ask for permission to be great. You just need to give notice. Which leaves us with this final, vital question to think about. The path of least resistance is always going to be available to you. You can stay comfortable, you can avoid failure, and you can remain exactly where you are right now. Or you can choose to step into the friction, embrace the messy clay of your own potential, and actually start building your legacy. So I challenge you to look at your biggest goals right this second and ask yourself, how many no's are you willing to collect today?